Welcome back to Mindset Monday. I'm Gene Zanetti, your coast-to-coast mindset coach from Wrestling Mindset. Yianni, Burroughs, Cox, and Fix. And let's not forget our Jersey boy, James Green. World Team Trials champions. They won their bracket. They're going to the Worlds. Awesome. And these guys all have a shot to win it all. And you want to talk about a great talent pool that we have that we're bringing from the USA to the World Championships? We're ready to do it. After a great performance in the Olympics, we're ready to do it in the Worlds, and we might win the whole darn thing this time, especially with more weight classes. So I just wanted to give you a couple thoughts on some of the different weight classes and what we saw. First of all, Dayton Fix is definitely at his best. You could see in a very tough pool, Suriano, the guy we did the show on last week, he's always tough. He's always a great competitor. Nate Tomasello, shut him down. He's tough. And in fact, I remember Mr. Suriano talking about Nate Tomasello when Nicky was in high school and Tomasello was an NCAA champ as a freshman or sophomore. And Suriano, Tomasello was on their radar even when they were in high school. So, and look, now they're battling it out. Of course, anyone could win on any given day. This happened to be Tomasello's day. Shut him down. He kept very good position. You could see Suriano stands a little bit higher. He has that bob and weave like a boxer, that almost shuffle going. Tomasello is already a little bit shorter but also stayed in very good position. Tomasello wrestled really well, and Fix just basically shut him down. And you could just see it just seems like a very good weight for Fix. In fact, that's what I'm seeing with a lot of these people, them talking about how good the weight is. And what I mean by that is different, whether it's an Olympic year, World Championship year, whatever the weight classes are, that matters because your body is sometimes a better fit for some weights than other weights. But my real point here is, if you notice Cox saying this wasn't a struggle for him, Burroughs, it was less of a struggle and he had more horsepower. We'll get to that. Fix speaking about it. James Green is kind of that in-between weight class from World and, the Worlds and the Olympics to, good size for one, too small for another one, not too small, but not enough energy. And the guys, as they're going up in weight, they're wrestling better. I'll say that again. The really good wrestlers, when they're going up in weight, they're wrestling better. So what does that say for you? Think about it. I mean, there's so many guys that we see. If I take a little detour from the World Championships for one moment, think about it. A lot of it in high school, you look at your practice partner. A lot of times your practice partner outweighs you by 10 or 15 pounds. Usually if you're one of the better guys on the team, you try to get more competition by wrestling someone a little bit heavier. So let's say you're weighing, just round off the numbers, make it simple. If you normally weigh 130, let's say that was a high school weight class. It was back when I was in high school. Let's say you weigh 130. Usually someone who weighs 130, their practice partner weighs 140, 145. And in the off season, after speaking to tens and thousands of wrestlers, me and the Wrestling Mindset staff, we hear the same report. My kid's feeling good. He's feeling big. He's feeling strong. Now this is at scratch weight. They're weighing 130. They're going up against someone objectively 15 pounds heavier, and they feel strong, the wrestler at 130. Then that wrestler who weighs 130 feels like they need to cut down to, let's say, 120 pounds as opposed to 125 pounds. And now they're objectively 10 pounds lighter, and they're wrestling someone on match day that's the same exact weight. And the kids and the parents are complaining that kid was really big. Now think about that. When you're 130, you're usually wrestling someone 15 pounds heavier than you. Now you cut 10 pounds and you're wrestling someone who weighed the same exact number as you, and you're complaining that they're too big, and your parents are complaining that they're too big. That's a problem. Look at the World Championships. If you're a good wrestler, you're a good wrestler at any weight. And I get it. I know sucking a little weight is part of any sport. You got to get down a little bit sometimes, but cutting weight does not make you a better wrestler. And this World Championships, I think, really illustrates that. A lot of guys being in the higher weight classes and them doing even better. So Fix is definitely at his best. We say that a lot, and it's true. He's really looking good. He's a guy who's good enough to win a World Championship. Yianni, hats off to him. Made his first World team. That was awesome to see. He looked really good. You could say, and McKenna looked really good too. Matches that could have gone either way. It just seemed like in that second match, when Yianni knew he needed to get it, he got it. And for me, it just kind of shows, he's a little bit better. Not to say that McKenna's not great. He is. And McKenna could beat him on any given day. And clearly he has, even in this World Team Trials. But Yianni, it just seemed like he's able to get the points when he needs them. He can score, and he could rack up those points. He knows how to win. I think seeing him now against the international competition, we know he's got wins over people like Bajrang. He's good enough to win it. These are guys who got it done at the cadet level. Fix and Yianni. Again, James Green now back at his weight, looking strong, looking powerful, had tough matches, had really good matches with Deacon. And I mean, here's a guy who, it was neck and neck, and it could have gone either way. And James Green just finding a way to win. And again, now being up at the weight that he likes to be at, and you can see Deacon's big, he's strong, he's powerful, and he's able to get it done still. James Green, so hats off to him, Jersey boy. That had to be nice for him and Burroughs, being Nebraska guys, having the tournament right there. So they were comfortable. They were in their home, their natural habitat, so to speak. It was funny when Burroughs said that if he had known that the World Trials were in Lincoln, he would have stuck around just a little bit longer. Of course, as a Penn guy, I'm happy that he's at the Pennsylvania Regional Training Center now. We're real happy to have him there, but it's just ironic that you just move when you've been living there for so long, and then you're going back. But Burroughs looked awesome, and Dieringer looked great too. I mean, you could see Dieringer is just a wall. He's a wall of a man, where he's very good. And I mean, to be a 3-time NCAA champion, I think he took 3rd and then 3 firsts. I mean, there's no arguing. He's one of the greatest college wrestlers of all time. And because he's so soft-spoken and humble, maybe he flies under the radar and we forget how good he is, especially with, all the studs who were kind of right around his weight right after college with Burroughs and Dake and Taylor, those guys. But Dieringer is one of the best college wrestlers ever. And he looked awesome in this tournament. And Burroughs just, again, a little too much horsepower and being slick also. I mean, you could see he knows how to wrestle. He knows how to win. And he's one of the best guys. And we all know this. Jordan Burroughs is one of the best guys at making in-match adjustments, which is very important. I'll take a little detour in this moment, because that makes me think of some of the psychological studies. And since we're trying to always bring out the mindset, and what does that mean? How do you become a flexible thinker, an adaptive thinker, a creative thinker? One of the things you need is to have a clear mind and being in a good mood. So they've done psychological research. If you're having fun, if you're having a good time, you're more likely to think outside of the box. Now, I'll use myself as a negative example. When I would compete most of the time, it was bang, 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 grind, grind, grind. And I'm right here. And I'm right here. You know what that feels like when you're in the zone and you're just right here? You're not thinking outside the box so much, but I'm just going to run you right off the mat. It's good to have an element of that. You really do want to have some of that mentality of, I'm going to run you right off the mat and I'm going to fight this whole time and I'm going to run right through you. But if it's just right here and you're not thinking outside the box, what happens when your opponent changes their strategy or when you feel an opening? Well, one part of wrestling is absolutely imposing your will on your opponent. That's part one of what I was speaking about before. Run right through you, impose your will. The other part of wrestling is being a little bit cerebral, seeing when I jab step, how does he react? If I head fake, if I fake to this side, does he bite? Does that leg move? Does the leg not move? Admittedly, I did a poor job of this. I didn't think when I was wrestling so much. But when you watch the best guys, they do think. They don't overthink. And when in doubt, I don't want you to think, I want you to act. But this begins in practice, because I did not think in practice either. It was just grind, grind, grind. Reps, reps, reps. Good for some of practice, not the whole practice, though. You have to be able to adjust and adapt. So it begins in practice when you're going live. Don't just grind, grind, grind. Do that some of the time. But when you're going live, you also have to think, when I jab step, how does he react? If I tap this leg, what does he do? If I drop to a knee, if I pop up, staying in good position the whole time, how is this man reacting? I didn't do a good job of it. Jordan Burroughs is one of the best who's ever done it. But how do you get to that point? That was what I was originally getting at. The way you get to that point is by being in a good mood, being relaxed, being calm. I would have my heavy metal or rap or hard rock that I would listen to right before my matches. Instead of changing that up, listen to country music, listen to a song that will make you smile and laugh and enjoy yourself. So you're not putting all that stress on yourself. You're able to open up and see what's going on around you. When you're in a good mood, when you're a little bit happy, it doesn't mean you're necessarily smiling, but you have a mentality of, I want to be here. This is fun. Mindset principle number one, I'm thankful for the opportunity to wrestle. If you have that mentality, which needs to be worked on a regular basis, you think outside of the box. You can adapt. Okay, I'm doing my number one takedown. I'm not feeling it. How do I switch it off to number two or switch to number three? Or he keeps getting me on this one side. I need to circle the other way, or I need to rotate him a little bit more, or maybe fake the one side and hit the other. So again, Jordan Burroughs does a great job of that. The reason why is he's able to stay relaxed. You don't see many really good wrestlers. Yianni brought this up in his interview. He said they asked him about when he lost his first match to McKenna, did he get mad or whatever? Was he really down? And he said, well, of course he was mad, but he didn't get too bent out of shape. And he used Jordan Burroughs and Kyle Dake and those guys as an example. You don't see those guys getting too flustered after a loss or when things don't go well. So maintaining your control, that takes practice. For some guys, that's easier than others. So that would have been absolutely something that I would have benefited from speaking with a mindset coach on how to keep having fun, even in the heat of battle, even while I'm wrestling in a live match, tight match, reminding myself that I'm enjoying myself, I'm having fun. And that would have helped me be more flexible, adaptable, more of a creative thinker, and better at making in-match adjustments. So maybe there's some people who do it naturally very well. Maybe some people learn it more over time after a painful process of trial and error. With our wrestling mindset program, we're really looking to take that time out of the equation and learn the strategies to think and be adaptable during your match rather than just go, go, go. So that was great. And then Jaden Cox also looking great. And he rated himself. They asked him, how well did you think you did? How well did you do there? He gave himself a D, which it seemed like, oh, wow, he looked very good, but he gave himself a D. But he gave himself a high grade for something. This was interesting to me. He gave himself a high grade for one specific thing that he was doing. And I forget exactly what it is. It's not the point what the specifics were. The point is that there was a certain aspect of wrestling that he was focusing on, something in his control. He was focusing on it and he did good. So even though he wasn't pleased with his performance, he did well. One of the main areas he was working on. I remember when I used to write papers in school in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, on the upper right-hand corner, it would say FCAs, focus correction areas. So basically that was supposed to be the three main things you were working on this paper. If I was a little bit smarter, I would have said, okay, this is really what I need to hone in on. Instead, I would just write the paper. And look, my wrestling was the same way as my school. Grind it out instead of focusing on those key points. Well, Jaden Cox wasn't happy with his performance, but on one of his focus correction areas, we'll call it, he gave himself an A or a very high grade. So just something to be aware of. Have little goals in your matches and in your practices on small aspects you're looking to get better. And even if you're not happy with your performance, which Jaden Cox was not, he could still leave the World Team Trials with a positive feeling because he did well in one of the aspects he was really honing in on. So make sure you set those little goals in practice, set those little goals in the match. Really unbelievable stuff, these World Team Trials. Just wanted to throw it out there again. We still have a few spots open for our wrestling mindset certification and our winning mindset certification. All of our best lessons, you're going to get them. You're going to get the videos also of me explaining these lessons. In our certification, I'm going to take you through all of our 10 best mindset lessons. I'll take you through it just like I coach a kid. Now, this certification is for coaches. You're going to get to use this as a credential on your resume. And also, you're going to be able to now know how to be a better, you're going to know how to think about the mental side of sports. And we make it very concrete. very practical, very down to earth. You don't need to know the theory, the philosophy, and the deep down psychological. Sure, we hit on that a little bit. That's not my job. My job is to make it very easy for you to understand, so you could coach someone without using the big words and jargon and all of this. You'll understand how to coach the mindset. You'll understand how to teach our best mindset lessons. And for some of the people that do the certification, we're going to be offering them jobs after. So they'll be working with wrestling mindset and winning mindset as mindset coaches and working with our team doing presentations. So we want to make sure you join us. Make sure you email us at mindset@zwinningmindset.com. So mindset@zwinningmindset.com. Make sure you reach out. There's also a wrestling mindset email. Whatever, you go to the website, wrestlingmindset.com or zwinningmindset.com. You can email us in any one of the sites. Just tell us you're interested in the mindset certification. We'll make it happen. It's going to be this upcoming Tuesday and Wednesday. We're giving away the house. It's going to be really good. You're going to learn our principles, our philosophies, the do's and don'ts when you're working with someone on your mindset. It'll make you a better coach. It'll make you a better parent, and it's going to make you a better person. Absolutely, positively guaranteed. Mindset makes the difference. Have a good night. Have a good day. We'll see you soon.